Welcome to X's and O's with LeRoy Butler, and we're going to get right into it, and we're going to talk about the two post plays that we mentioned in the earlier segments. And these are plays that you feel like should be defended better than they are. And they wound up being, I think, what, 51 and 42 yards.
Yes.
So let's look at the first one. And you call this U personnel because there's two tight ends and fullback and a halfback.
Right.
And essentially to set this play up, this guy is going to run out here, and we'll explain why that's, you'll explain why that's significant, and this guy's going to run up here, and you can explain why that's significant. It was not really much of a play action. I mean,
very weak fake.
Not much of one at all. But Eli Manning just dropped back there, and then why don't you kind of take us through what happened?
Now, in my film study as a defensive back, I'm saying to myself, U personnel, two tight ends, one wideout, is normally, a run formation, But they wouldn't run with Cruz at wide receiver. So in my film study, every time in U personnel, I'm saying if Cruz, who's a real shifty receiver, is in, it's probably pass. So if it probably pass, then it is. And what they ran, Tom, was off a play action. They run what they call a snake route. And the tight end would come up and run what we call a 7, which is to the corner. Now, it puts you in a kind of a bind because if he runs a 7, Charlie Pepper, who also took the fake, I can't believe he did, but just 2 feet puts you in dire straits there. But he took the fake, but he had pretty good coverage. The problem, the stress is, now Victor Cruz come up and run this post pattern, Now he ran this post pattern, which is an actual 8 on the numbers tree. Tremont is outside leverage and is on his outside. Look at all the space right here for him to complete that. And see, backside, you get just like a tight end comes up and what we run a 6 route right here. And Morgan Burnett kind of jumped him a little bit. And what's he supposed to?
Part of partially his job.
But the free guy is Woodson. He's here, what we call looking for work. He's not covering anybody. So what I would have done and what we've done in the 90s, to stop this particular route, because it is a hard route, we would lock up Woodson on the tight end. So in other words, we'll lock up Woodson here. Now he's locked up here, That's your guy. You tell the linebackers, after you take the fake, just come straight back here. Now, Morgan Burnett, I want you to get a smooth back pedal and rotate to the middle. Remember, you only got one wide receiver. So once I push to the middle, Pepper, you're the same. Now I tell Tremont, you're going to get help deep. So you can be aggressive on this guy. And I think the Dallas Cowboys back in the middle 90s, they would kill us on this play until we locked up the backside corner, which is Craig Newsome. And I would push to the middle. Now Darren Sharper was so aggressive over here, and we stopped this particular play.
But let's talk about, that's not how the Packers are playing this one under Capers. So let's talk about what happened and how Tramon Williams got in bad shape. So Charlie Pepper's job is to cover that.
He has to cover the center.
So that's his job. That leaves Victor Cruz here with Tramon Williams. All season long, everybody keeps hitting the Tramon Williams with post
all the way
routes
back to New Orleans.
Exactly. Tell us what went wrong here. You spotted right here that's where things kind of went wrong with his hips and how he covered this.
And see, that's what the receivers, they do, they stem us in and out to make sure our leverage is all distorted. And the thing about Tramon, he has to trust his speed. He has a 40-inch vertical. He has great speed. He started to turn his hips too early.
Because he thought he was going to go this way.
Or just run a straight 9 route. And so that's the guessing part of it. He has to trust his instincts to say, look, they've run this play so many times in my film study, I think this is a true 8, and what I'm going to do is play more inside leverage and play the posts. And these were the things that if he runs something different, they got me. But never run the same thing they run on each week. And again, once you get at the top of this route, when Victor Cruz made this turn right here, that kind of put Tramon
show us the footwork.
Difference.
You were showing me the footwork, that how he got out of position, and that's why he couldn't turn to
once you get at the top of the route, all you got to do is open. But he didn't open, Tom. He turned his back, so now you got to make another motion. And see, remember now, Victor Cruz is a small guy. He's one motion.
Quick, yeah.
He made one turn. Tremont made two.
Right.
So the thing about that is, in his film study, he has to understand at the top of this route, don't panic. Stay in a nice, smooth back pedal and relate to the wide receiver. And make this receiver go through you to get to that 8.
Right.
And you're not going to get this backside.
And one thing to that is that, you know, Matthews got pressure here.
Yes. B.J. Rodgers dominated that guy.
But Manning, I mean, he literally just threw it up there figuring it was going to be open because he knows how bad the Packers have played that post.
And I want you to see right here, right here, when Cruz made that cut right there, Manning let the ball go.
Ball was already gone.
He let it go.
Yeah.
So if you're Tremont at the top of this route, coaching point, and you're inside, you can come over and you can intercept that.
Right, right.
I expect that pass to be intercepted for the next 4 games because you will see it against Oakland and you will see it against Kansas City.
Well, we'll see because they've seen it before and they still haven't adjusted. But let's go back to the other post route they gave up, and this again was Tremont Williams.
Yep.
And only this time it was a little different route. We had a tight end over here,
which was Beck 47.
right?
Yep.
And then we had Hakeem
88.
Nicks over here,
Yep.
Tremont off here, Woodson here, and Clay Matthews here. Okay. And the linebackers were about where they were.
Yep.
Actually, DJ Smith was here and Francois was here. Okay, so
now Pepper was over here.
and Pepper was here.
Yep.
Now this time, same thing. This
Same
guy
thing.
goes
Up
here.
and out.
Now Woodson has to cover the flat because
Yep.
there was a back, and he's
Right.
got to cover Ahmad Bradshaw.
Yep.
What happens? I'm sorry. You go ahead
No,
and
it's
draw
okay.
that.
No, you're right. 47 comes up, and he runs what we call a 7 route. Now, Charlie Pepper, again, looking in the backfield, he can't do that. He has to relate to this guy, so he's out of the play.
Right.
Now you got 88 comes up and runs a post, 51 yards, and again, Tremont at the top of the route. At the top of the route, he's not relating with the receiver. He has to relate to this guy to say, look, I got to be on his top shoulder to go through him to the ball. And he actually made a pretty decent attempt on the ball.
Right.
But this receiver, again, Hicks, 6'3", big hands. You got to get this guy either on the inside, okay, and make him go wider, or it's different backside. You can't get any backside safety help because you got 2 other receivers over there.
Yeah, and again,
Or you can zone, or it's another thing you can do, Tom. You can zone it off.
Okay.
You can tell Charlie Pepper, you stay in the post and get the post, and Tremont can get the 7 route right here. Now, you can do that, but I don't know if I would want to put Pepper down the field.
You know, the irony of that is that, remember, I forgot what game it was, though, but that was how they had played that one, and that's where Burnett came over and covered this guy out here, and Tremont went up and then came back, and they had the guy wide open. So either Capers is going like, okay, I can't do it that way now because they're not playing it that way, so I'm going to play it this way, and it's hurting us. So he's got some issues there that.
And as you guys can see, it's not easy, but it is a solution to it. And what we're trying to understand is why aren't these solutions comprehending quick enough on the field?
Right.
And they have to figure that out.
That's his goal. And we're going to look at another play here from the game, or actually a combination of plays here.
Yeah,
so
and axis on the offense, we'll talk about Jermichael Finley and Aaron Rodgers, some of the good things they're doing.
Right. Okay, now we're going to flop over to offense and look at the interception Aaron Rodgers had.
Something that we very rarely see.
Yeah, you don't have to analyze those very often. But basically had a 3-receiver set with Jermichael Finley in the slot, so it's like a 4-receiver set. A little bit of play action to James Starks. And what we had was sort of a in route here, and he sort of followed him, right?
Right.
Okay, so this guy came over here. What was the mistake? The ball ended up coming here, and this guy picked him off.
Right. And I think let's go all the way back to Chicago when they played Chicago.
Oh, right.
You had Urlacher up here messing around, and he intercepted Rodgers because he came to the same kind of flow. And Rodgers is, maybe the smartest guy in football. He learned from this because once you play action and fake this ball to Starks, when he first looks up, Tom, he has to hit Randall Cobb in the first window. And this is that first window right there.
Okay.
So right when he's breaking past 94, that ball has to stay close to the numbers. It should not go in here.
Right.
See, this is the second window.
Because this
and I
guy's
think that's where it's a problem.
coming up here, and so it's a short window into here.
Yes. You hit him there, you may have a touchdown. Even worse, you can come out here to Jordy Nelson or Jennings and have a touchdown. But for the most part, Rodgers hesitated. And maybe it was unfamiliar with him, the coverage. He was looking for the flow of the defense. Who knows what he saw. But for the most part, keep that ball in that first window, not in that second one. Or you can wait to the third. And that's why he was able to, this 93 was able to pick him off.
So let's show what happened. He actually ended up going to Jennings, and he threw it in this window.
And the guy picked it.
And it was just too late, right?
Yep. He got to get that ball, play action, be ready to throw. Because the play action will make these linebackers bite, okay? They'll bite. Once they bite, they're going to retract. So the number 2 guy will be breaking across right here, and we'll talk about that in a second. As soon as you break behind that linebacker, the ball should be thrown.
Right.
And that's what's going to happen. And
now we'll show that he's not an idiot, because he learns from his mistakes. You know, you pointed this out. It was almost on the very next series. It was on the very next series. This time he's got Finley here, and he's got Jordy Nelson here.
Right.
And they got a corner. And once again, there's a linebacker. It wasn't Kiwanuka, but it was a linebacker.
Right.
And now Finley runs almost the same kind of post route. Jordy Nelson takes it up this way.
Could have had Jordy Nelson too. But the same thing.
Now, this time, what did he do different?
Play action. As soon as on the play action he set up, the ball came right away. Bam, right there for 22 yards. And now this play is almost unstoppable with cover 2, but this safety was so deep. So you got an area between the safety and the linebacker to throw this ball.
Right, because
the more you go over here, and remember this play time, 93 did the same thing.
Yes, he did.
He was coming because he thought he was going to get another interception. But come on, Aaron Rodgers, he's never going to make the same mistake twice. You keep that ball by those numbers, you're going to get a big play. Now, what's going to happen, Oakland is going to see this film. They're going to start attacking Finley off of play action here. Jordy Nelson's going to be wide open for a touchdown because he had this corner all turned around.
We noticed that too, that even though he went to Finley, he could have gone to Nelson too down the sideline.
Absolutely. And the first play, and same thing, the first play in the 2-minute drive, 58 seconds left on the 20-yard line, the first play, Finley goes up and just works that linebacker. And I'm going to tell you something, the throw, Aaron Rodgers had 3 throws in this game. I don't think any quarterback can make, and I'm serious. This ball was high and outside to where your 6'5" tight end can catch it, and the pass he threw to Donald Driver, unbelievable for a touchdown. But the pass he threw to Jordy Nelson down the sideline in the 2-minute drill, unbelievable. He had Justin Tuck, 6'5", 280-pound guy running dead at him, made a very accurate throw. MVP of the league, Aaron Rodgers.
And let's not forget, these guys all made great catches on him.
Absolutely. That's why I don't care so much about the drops, because of the great catches these guys do make. I value that. So.
Okay, good. Well, thanks for joining us for another session. We'll be back after the Raiders game. And
this is sponsored by Syndic's Ballester, owned and operated, who again was Philanthropist Company of the Year, sponsored by the LeRoy Butler Foundation. Go to W.J. Kuhn in Oak Creek. And this Friday, I'll be at the Syndic's in Mequon from 6:30 to 9, signing my new cookbook. So if you're in the area, come on down.
And this time you'll bring us a turkey back, right?
I'll bring you a turkey this time.
Good. Sounds good. All right. See you next week.